watching Moms Matter virtual episode at EverTalk TV, and I am your host, Shirin Yadigar. I've been working really hard during this crisis to bring you some inspiring women who can make you laugh and teach you some new rituals in your lives. So today, Joanna Swisher, who is an actress and a mama and an entrepreneur, is joining us, and I feel so lucky to have you here from us all the way from Florida. Thank you for being here.
Yes, all the way from Florida.
So you normally have a very busy life and you're traveling a lot for work. How are you dealing with this quarantine at home with your husband and your kids?
I'm embracing it. It was a little bit of an adjustment for my husband, but he's super high energy and but we're used to being around each other a lot. He was a pro baseball player for 13 years and has been retired for a couple of years. And so we're used to being like he's home a lot more now, which has been nice. So it hasn't been a total huge shock. But I've just kind of leaned in, this is obviously a very scary time and an uncertain time, and understanding that, everybody has stressors for different reasons, but there are a lot of people that are really struggling right now and people that are losing family members, and there's just not a ton of information. And I feel like the roller coaster at first was really intense for me. And so I tried to limit that information a little bit and kind of take it one day at a time and really look at what, just try to look at what we did know in the moment, and just try to stay safe. But more than anything, just, this is a really unique moment. And I know that I'll look back on this and probably be like, oh, I wish I could have that time again. And so that, coupled with doing everything that we can behind the scenes on our part with our foundation to try to raise money for people that are really in need. And it's just across the board. It's kind of balancing, baking bread and trying new things and trying to make this as stress-free of a situation for my young children as I can, but then also having to want to focus on how we can help.
Right. So what is your foundation? What's the work you're doing with your foundation?
Our foundation is called the Swisher Family Foundation, and it basically helps children, underserviced youth, and children that are in need. But we've been able to kind of rework things a little bit and raise money for those that are affected by the pandemic. And so we have been we're gonna launch it next week. So we're gonna launch a fundraiser that will be able to raise money for first responders, family members, people that are struggling with unemployment and food, and helping a few different organizations locally in Los Angeles and Tampa, which is where I'm born and raised.
Amazing. I love that you're doing that. It's so important. People don't realize how many hundreds of thousands of kids who usually get food at school are not eating meals a day, and we need help. So as soon as you're launching, please let me know, and I'll make sure to post
I will.
There as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it yet, but it's definitely something that we've been working on a lot. So
love that. Well, thank you for doing that. You mentioned earlier that you have new rictuals. Tell us about some new rituals that you've adopted at home that we might be able to adopt in our homes as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, I've not made any excuse to not get active at some point in the day for myself, which I can really let the day get away from me. And I'm not the kind of person that comes home and wants to put in a workout. So I'm I have no excuse. So it's kind of been one of those things where I'm I have the time to do it. So I've been trying to give to myself and do that. And then just trying to figure out ways to get the kids kind of thinking about, I don't ever want to keep them so in the dark. And my kids are old enough. I mean, they're very young, but they're still aware. I mean, my almost 7-year-old knows that she's not in school because of, the coronavirus. So understanding that, there is a way to be a good citizen and a good neighbor, and to care about people within your community, but do it in a way that's not so overwhelming and so stressful. So we've been, I shared with People Magazine how we made these smile signs. An anonymous person put a smile sign in our front yard, and we passed it along one night, which was really fun for the girls because it was dark, and we were able to get in the car, and we load them into the car. We decided which house in the neighborhood we were going to put it in, and then we made our own. And so just trying to get them to be aware of the fact that we all kind of have a responsibility to take care of each other. Even though we are quarantined in our homes. And, the interesting thing that I've kind of just been thinking about a lot is just the idea of adaptability. And I think that, the more adaptable, and children are naturally more adaptable, but like the more adaptable and the more flexible that you can be and show that to your children, I think that it serves them well in the future and allows for them to experience adventure more and not be so afraid of change. And I lost my father suddenly in November. So it's been a big year for us, a lot of change. And so we've been talking a lot about God and change and aging. And, there's just a lot of kind of emotions percolating in our house. So trying to be really honest about those feelings and what we're going through and trying to find the joy within the journey is something that I really try to think about. I have a destination called the Happy Place, and it's kind of like my diary. And it's something that I keep my socials for, my work and all of those kind of things separate, because this is just this tiny little like destination that's so special to me. So when people find it, it's so exciting for me. But it's really, I talk a lot about what it means to kind of weather the storm and lean into the journey. And I think that with that adaptability and flexibility comes a sense of bravery. And I want to instill that in my kids. And, obviously I'm a mom, but you don't have to be a mom to kind of embrace this. And yes, it's fun to bake. And I've mastered a few new recipes and made time for things. I have a sourdough starter that my brother and I are kind of like working on. One's in his house and one's in my house. And we're, talking to each other about what it smells like and how many bubbles it is every day. So there are things that like I've made time for that I normally wouldn't. That I'm grateful for, but also really it's just about the big thing we talk about is making sure that we stay aware and touch and being good community members and good family members. And you have to get creative, which is what we're doing now, getting the opportunity to talk and share with like our versions of what this is and how we're all surviving. We're all really, in a way, social media can be, it can be a little all over the place, but it's really beautiful. I think that people are connecting in a different way now.
I think people are really being authentic for the first time on social media and vulnerable and opening themselves up. And I love what you said. You have young children, but you don't have to kind of sugarcoat everything. It's like, let's talk about our feelings and what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're home. And it can be really scary. So tell me a little bit more about the Happy Place.
The Happy Place. So it started as a design blog. I went to school for interior design. It was something that I didn't really share with a lot of people, but being that I was married to a baseball player and we lived in a lot of different cities, and I'm an actress and we lived in a lot of different cities for that reason. We have kind of made homes, whether they are for 6 months or a year or 4 months or whatever it may be. We've made homes in so many places, and so I've always helped my friends along the way, just with the knowledge that I have and the fact that I am really interested. It's a passion for me. So it started as a design blog and a place where I was kind of not too shy to share that I had this knowledge and information and passion. And then it's just sort of evolved, and it's really been a wonderful opportunity. I talked a lot about in the last 6 months after losing my father, and my dad was really, really, really proud of the Happy Place. It was one of the things, he was very proud of me and the accomplishments that I had, and my family and all of those kind of things. But the Happy Place for him was something that was really special. And I said it was sort of my form of activism. It was, an opportunity for me to sit and think about the things that brought me the greatest joy. And not ever to feel like it was unattainable, but it was supposed to be inspirational. And I always talk, it doesn't take a lot of money and it doesn't take a lot of time to make memories and to make special moments out of things. And you don't have to be a mom or anything like that to really just be present and kind of live with that intention. And so it's evolved in a lot of ways, but especially now is really just how we find the happy place and the joy within the loss of my father, which was so tremendous. And and this pandemic that came so quickly after. So it just feels like a lot of chaos. There's been, some other health issues within different family members in the last 6 months. And so it's really about survival and finding the joy. And it's a really honest depiction of the lens that I sort of choose to look through and how I live my life. And it's never meant to feel like it's, I want people to feel connected to me, but most importantly, when people find the happy place, I want them to know me, because it really is. There's never a story on there that I felt like it was forced, and there have been ideas that I've had that I've never even written about because it just doesn't ever really come together. So it's just kind of like a diary, if you will, and we talk about design and entertaining and recipes and cocktails. I love happy hours, and just sort of, it's just like a little pullback of the curtain of the way that we live our life here. And just, that's just a little piece of my heart.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And if people want
Thank
to
you.
check it out, is it the Happy Place? At the Happy Place?
It's a happy place. Yeah. At the happy place. Yeah.
I mean, I've never met you, and I just feel like I'm looking at you, and I can like see through your soul. You're this genuinely beautiful human being. I cannot believe that you lost your father, and I know you had such a close connection, and then you got hit. All of us got hit with COVID, and
Yeah.
evaluating our lives, and it's just incredible how you're holding it together and finding a new lens and a new way of looking at things.
I thank you for saying that. And it's the grief has been a really interesting journey for me. That not that I want to concentrate on that, but like a grief counselor told me really early on, she's like, find your people that will hold your grief for you. Because if you are able to find people that know how your heart feels every minute of every day, you kind of are free to be okay.
Right.
And a lot of ways I'm okay. There's many moments in the day that I am not, and I feel it and I don't shy away from it. But for the most part, I know that that's what he would. I mean, that's the voice I heard, as he passed on, was, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And even in my eulogy, I said to him, I was like, it's not okay. Like, this is not okay. But it kind of is what it is, and it's where we are, and it doesn't take away the pain, but it also has opened up a new version of what my happy place is within that too. So there's a lot there, and I'm just kind of in it. That's like, there's no one that can talk to me that can be like, oh, I didn't even know her dad died. I'm like, no, this is sort of where I'm at. I'm an open book, for better or for worse, on almost every level of my life.
Well, you're role modeling for your girls in a beautiful way, so that they know that it's okay to feel and not to hold it.
Yeah.
Because we'll all have a nervous breakdown if we hold all our emotions in. And it's
For sure.
beautiful. And it is what it is. And it's life.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the truth.
But I know, as a working mom and being busy, life doesn't stop. Even in quarantine, life doesn't stop. But you have a show coming out very soon. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it premieres on May 19th on Netflix. It's called Sweet Magnolias, and talk about a story of, love and friendship and survival. And it's about three women in a small town. And my character, I'm a mom of three, and my husband, who's played by Chris Klein, has an affair.
Ooh.
And so you meet me in the office of the divorce, proceedings, and as we're trying to sort of negotiate how things are going to shake out. And when it's interesting because I loved the story. I was immediately gravitated towards it, but I was really adamant. I was so grateful that our, showrunner felt the same way, that I wanted my character Maddie to be someone that, was really honest about how she had been kicked in the teeth and how she'd been kind of given a crap hand, but that she was a survivor. And so I didn't want her to be. I wanted her to be able to have moments of anger and have moments of, pity party and all of those things. I wanted all of that to be present. But at the end of the day, she's going to pick herself up by her bootstraps and kind of move on. And it's really a story about how a community rallies around each other, how lifetime female friendships, we have some romance, and sexy men and all of the good stuff too that I want to watch when I'm binge watching something. But it feels like an odd time talking about something new, but it's also a show that I feel like you can watch with your family, and we are all kind of looking for things to do together, I think, right now more than ever. So I'm really happy to talk about it.
Well, thank you for creating a show that we can all watch together. I'm excited for that because I'm hearing always from all our viewers at LA Mom. Everyone's like, so what's a good family show? So there we go. Now we have a new one coming out.
Yeah, yes, it's coming. It's coming.
So before we leave our formal interview here, leave us with one takeaway, one tip, one new feeling that you have that you can share with all of us during this crisis that you really think has helped you and that could help all of us watching as well.
I really think that focusing on being grateful for the family time has been something that's been really helpful, but also really focusing on different ways to stay genuinely connected to the people that are around us, whether it be that you have an opportunity to donate some money to people that are in need, or if you have an opportunity to do some grocery shopping for somebody that's a little bit more at risk and shouldn't probably be leaving their house right now, or looking for the ways that we can connect since we do have a little bit more time to be aware of our surroundings a little bit more. I think it's so easy. We're all so busy and we all have these crazy hectic schedules. And I will say, I'm still really busy. And I think we all are, especially as moms, we're all kind of, trying to figure out the school stuff and all of that and how that fits in. And we all still have jobs and all of these kind of things. But I think really just focusing on ways that now that we do maybe have like a little extra time to build in, just like opening our eyes and looking around and saying, oh, you may not know that neighbor that's down the street, or you may not, now there may be an opportunity to connect in that way and really take care of each other. And the irony is that we've all been asked to stay away from each other. But in a weird way, all I keep thinking about is how we can take care of each other.
I love that. And I think your dad's watching down right now, feeling very proud of you because you really are an activist and you're spreading so much love and awareness and beauty during this really difficult time in crisis mode. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for sharing and being so honest and open with all of our viewers today. It was an honor having you on Moms Matter. And we sat right here at EverTalk TV.